fuck do I even care for? I'm still the one you once cherished. Memories are all we have, 'cause all the photos have perished. I wake up past 6 and I'm off with the pills, 'cause they take away my pain. But I'm chugging down with the hard stuff, kinda out of my own lane. Yeah, out of my own lane. Out of my own lane. Out of my own lane. Can't steer the shit straight. Your love right here, but the demons won't wait. Addiction's gone. What is going on, legends? Gunhead, Trevor, OU, Koof, Spook, my beautiful mumsy, Boomerang Girl. What's going on, legends? Rose McMahon says hello from Mildura, hello from Victoria. Well, I mean, I know, all right, yeah, I muffed that one right up. Hello from Northeast Victoria. Oh, thank you, Blur CR. Battlefront, what's going on, legend? This is my latest banger. So you know what happened? So I was actually sitting there last night. I just finished doing video editing and all that, and it was literally like 3 o'clock in the morning, right? And I was listening to, I do the same thing every night, yeah? I listen to music, and then when I go to sleep, I either listen to white noise or Cops. That's how my sleeping routine is. But last night, I was sitting there listening to Honest Dave. Now, as you guys know, Honest Dave was the support band for MGK, who just so happens to be one of my favourite artists, and I didn't even know that they were the support act. But in my own defence, JJ didn't know either. And I was sitting there listening to a song, and I don't know, like now that I can write and stuff, like I don't know, I just get these urges, and I just sat there and I was like, yeah. So I'd actually had like about maybe 5 or 6 lines written of this song, and then yeah, I just sat there and I was like, yeah, used Honest Ave as a bit of influence on it, but yeah, I'll show you guys the song. You will notice it sounds ironically like me. You didn't see me when I wasn't sober. Scratch marks on the wall, but it wasn't over. You never seen a gas bottle, garden fork, holes in the walls, hearing voices making choices. I was seeing ghosts in the walls, sirens running, addiction crying, deals constantly trying. I don't even know who I am anymore. More drinks, bad drugs, false friends. Why the fuck do I even care for? I'm still the one you once cherished. Memories are all we have. 'Cause all the photos have perished. I wake up past 6 and I'm off with the pills. My pain, but I'm chugging down with the hard stuff, kinda out of my own lanes, out of my own lane. 100%. Why the fuck do I even care for? Might pour another drink. Well, why not? It is Froffy Fridays, and you know how we do on Fridays. Pour one up for the crew. If not, go get a cordial, coffee, whatever you do, sit down, relax. After all, music soothes even the savage beast. What album is that from? Music Legends. Yeah, fuck yeah, bulls. Someone got it. I knew someone would get it. So you would have noticed that I can't even tell you, right? I'll tell you, right? So when I finished this song last night, like I don't ever message people or email people or fucking call people at 3 o'clock in the morning. I generally have a lot more respect than that. But last night, right? So Colin, our absolute legend follower, who's literally got a guitar there waiting for me. Yeah, I actually cannot wait to get that guitar because like all of these songs that you guys listen that I play are my own words. I have written every single one of these songs that I play, and I can't wait to get a guitar. Do you know? I think it's every like young man's dream to become a rock star. You know, and not I don't want to become a rock star like now, but I'm just saying like I feel like yeah, I don't know. Music makes me so happy, and I know that there's a lot of people in the chat that it's exactly the same. And there's something about making your own music that makes you very happy. So I can't wait to get the guitar off Colin, the bloody legend, and yeah, sit there and figure out how to play. I can still play. Do you know I can play, right? So I can probably play 3 things on guitar. Most of them, admittedly, I did learn in prison, but I can play, obviously, Smoke on the Water. I think that's like, it's like a prerequisite if you have a guitar or if you want to learn how to play guitar. I don't know. I don't know guitar, but I know how to play these songs. I can also play Nothing Else Matters on bass by Metallica, right? So, believe it or not, I had never seen. I'm very uncultured sometimes. Yeah, I'd never seen a until this prison sentence in particular. I'd never seen a bass acoustic guitar, and so yeah, the guitar teacher came in, and he was like, oh, like. Anyway, Steve, why did you stop teaching guitar in Victorian prisons? People actually enjoyed what you did, you mofo, and you stopped. Anyway, I used to go. I couldn't even play, but I used to just go just so I could listen to people play music. Anyway, Steve, the guitar teacher, brought in a acoustic bass guitar. I was like, what? You can get a bass guitar that's an acoustic guitar? And Steve was like, yeah. And then he was like, I'm actually leaving this here. And I was like, no way. And so anyway, I grabbed it straight away and said, fuck off, it's mine. No one else has taken it. Yeah. And then so one of my other mates, but I mean, I don't even want to say this because it just sounds like Shazza, Bazza, Knackers, Crackers, Wazza, you know, all of them dinky dialsy names. But Robbo taught me how to play Nothing Else Matters by Metallica. But I can also play on acoustic the intro to Wish You Were Here. It's not much, I know, but like I can. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to get a guitar. I was actually super stoked with the way that this song came out. This was the first version I made. I'll turn it down. Yeah. Oi, bloody oath, Gunny. I don't know. I've just always, Spook, bloody just sent out 5 bloody memberships. I'll tell you who got them in a moment. So if you guys, all right, wait, I'll start this song again. So you guys, the start of this song is imperative for those of you guys that have been following me for a long time. So you guys know, I've told you guys the stories that when I got out of prison, I hadn't partied for a long time and drugs had changed, people had changed, and I literally spent 21 days awake. Yeah, this is the truth. And by the end of that 21 days, I was a dangerous person. And so at the start of this song, you hear it say gas bottles, garden fork, holes in the wall. Well, that's all because that's exactly a part of my story. When I was losing my mind, I was seeing fucking like shadow people, and they were coming out of the walls, and it says that in the song anyway. But so what I actually had done is I was losing my mind. I was surrounded by people who should have been saying, now I'm not blaming my drug use on other people, but I was surrounded by people after me doing 9 years prison that should have been saying, you shouldn't be taking this, blah, blah, blah. And obviously I was like, bang, straight off parole. I was like, there's no rules for me now. And so I learned the hard way. And so the ending was this, like that morning, I literally thought there was people in my roof, yeah? And you couldn't have told me otherwise that there wasn't people in my roof. And so I ran out my backyard, I went and grabbed the garden fork, and I went and grabbed the gas bottle with the hose still connected off the barbecue, and I ran back into my bedroom and I started stabbing holes into the roof. And like, here's the truth, right? So when I was doing that, I thought that I was going to be stabbing someone. It's horrible, but it's the truth. I thought that there was someone laying down, like trying to do my head in the middle of the night. This is how fucked up drugs are, yeah? And so when I ran outside to grab that fork and the gas bottle, when I put the first holes through the wall, I put them all in one line, like boof, 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 like 10 times. And in my mind, I was hoping that there was someone there, because in my mind, I was like, they're never going to do this to me again. And then that wasn't even enough for me. I grabbed the gas bottle. I went and grabbed the chair from the kitchen, stood up on the chair, emptied the gas into the roof, and was going to fucking blow the fucking roof up. And this is how fucking cooked I was. Like there was people in the house with me, you know, and like this would have ended one way. Even if someone had have flicked a light on, like that would have ended in one way. And it wasn't until, you know, one of my family members had walked up to me and said, when I was literally on a chair, gas bottle in the roof, saying, fucking game on now, motherfuckers. It's something that I'm not proud of, but it's something that happened. And so, you know, I think that, you know, when you know that, the words of this song hit a little bit differently. And the very first words are, you didn't know me when I wasn't sober, you know. Deep song. Wrote this last night. Took me about 10 minutes. Oi, my poor mum, I can't even tell you the stuff. Listen. How you going, Pepper Pot? Oi, Simulation Master. Blake, what's going on, mate? Makes me think of the time I was supposed to get acid and was given BS psychedelic that nearly sent me psychotic 3 days stuck in a trip. Yeah, look, you know, a lot of people in the chat here have had previous lives that, you know, people don't usually approve of. And, you know, I'm sure we've all got some horror stories from that exact life. I know I have so many. Simulation Master, thank you. Oh, here's the truth, right? Do you know what? If I wasn't on my phone right now, I would show you messages from mainstream media. What did I say? I said last live, I said you watch, I will start getting calls from the mainstream media asking for my footage. And why do you think everyone said to me, Biff, why did you put the big Chaos Chronicles in the middle of your footage? For that exact reason, because like people are just going to steal it because I'm the only one with that footage. I'm the only one with the nuggets that had the nuggets to go up there and do that. And nothing was going to stop me from doing that. And you know, which is funny because in some of the members only footage that the members will get, which there's 5 new members that will get to see that. I will show you some behind the scenes, and you will hear a conversation between Ryder and myself, and Ryder saying that he believes that I crashed the drone on purpose, just so we could go in there, you know. But I promise you, I did not crash that drone on purpose. The drone did not have a pan option, right? So I don't know why. But it's an old drone, yeah? It's an old drone, like it's literally years old now. It's not a new drone. And although, yeah, it still does have a capability of going 10 kilometers from where I'm standing, which believe me, this exact drone has made people money from its capabilities of being able to drive in a straight line for 10 kilometers from where the controller is. But you will hear a conversation. So, yeah, that is why it's awesome being a member, because you'll see this behind the scenes stuff, and you'll see a lot of behind the scenes stuff because, like I said to you, legends, you guys wait till I get my license. I don't think anyone ever thought that I was going to go to this level. Yeah. Oi, Peekaboo, you bloody legend. Buttles, he says. Hey, bro, you should have opened that rolled up rug and checked the map inside it. Could have been big evidence, haha, but I salute you for doing. All I say is this, legend, and thank you for your contribution. Your generosity is massively appreciated. Buttles, the evidence, the videos that you guys have seen is surface level. You guys know how many cameras I own, and if you think that I walked into that place with 2 people and have 1 camera running, no. Let me tell you guys, I made sure that I didn't have to go back there, you know. But I'm almost certain that old mate wouldn't care if I went back there anyway. I don't know. I've said this. A lot of guys didn't hear it, but like there was the person was cutting wood literally right out the front when I rocked up, not at the gate, like right out the front across the road. There's a camping ground, right? There was literally a marquee, a car, and a person with a fucking chainsaw. Now, to most people, considering the circumstances of the Desi Freeman situation, that would probably scare people off, but not me. I was like, hey, how you going, brother? Straight up with the thumbs up. I'm like, oh yeah, sweet as. Just gonna go do some drone footage, mate. Straight up with the thumbs up, and then almost instantly started chainsawing wood again. Did not give a shit. Did not care, right? Anyway, I'm standing there, mind you, in the middle of the road. So this is how quiet that place is. And I down my drone, right? So the first thing I do is swing around. Old mate is directly behind me. Like he literally has a tent and a marquee. Blew my mind. I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, I was like, bro, buddy, hey. Anyway, he looks up. He's like, puts his hands in the air like, what? Like, fucking stop annoying me. And I was like, Lee, I'm going to get me drone. It dropped in there. He goes, no worries, go. And I was like, all right, sweet as. Bang, straight away, started chainsawing again. I went in there. Do you know what I mean? And you know, also, I think it's important to say that a lot of people have said to me that, well, it's 50-50 split, actually. A lot of people have said, oi, good on you, Biff, for not taking any souvenirs, because I can't tell you how much 50% of me wanted to take a Desi souvenir. And, you know, but yeah, don't ever think that I put all my cards out on the table at once. I've been doing social media for a bit now, and I've learnt my lesson the hard way. And I learnt that you don't put all your cards out on the table at once. Well, I learnt that in prison, really, when I learned how to count in Arabic, just so I could prove that I was getting cheated against when I was getting played. Yeah, but then I would always say things like, you know, andak kabrit, andak wadak, you know. I'm down with the Arabic. Don't worry about that. I can pretty much ask you for the substances that I used to take in prison in every language. I promise you, every single language, even Vietnamese. Swear to God, if I'm on one side of the yard and the Viets are over there and I yell out, where, poof, they know exactly what Biff wants. If I'm like dealing with the Greeks, I go, yota, yota, yota. Poof, they know what I'm talking about. If I'm talking to the Arabs, I say, andak talesh or andak, not talesh. Talesh is ice. That's what they call ice. Andak, right? So in Arabic, andak means have you got. So I used to always walk up to him during Ramadan and I'd say, I know it's not called Ramadan. Anyway, so I would walk up to him and I'd say andak baklava, which means, I don't know if you guys have ever eaten baklava, but that's how you ask Arabs if you can have some baklava. What I'm literally asking when I say andak baklava means, have you got any baklava for this white guy? Do you know what? True story. So the Muslims literally used to call me shaitan, which means, if you know, it means demon, right? So they literally used to think that I was a demon. And it was like specifically because of these two magic tricks that I used to do. And they were 100% convinced that I was from a different world. Like, yeah. Oh, hey, Casey Mac. True. Brother, are you going to be knowing now this is the door? Congratulations. I'm proud of you, man. And Desi was a real one. Oh, thank you, Peekaboo. Well, do you know what? It probably stirred up a little bit of controversy, but me saying at the end of that video yesterday, you're a hero now, Desi. You're going to be remembered forever. Your name will go down in the history books forever. And that's the truth. It doesn't even matter if you think that that's going to be a fact or not. It will be a fact, I promise you. Desi Freeman is very much like, if you guys follow like Australian cult fucking history and stuff like that, like, it is actually very, very ironic, right down to the Kelly family taking the government on and stuff like that. The Desi Freeman and the Ned Kelly. Now, this isn't me wearing a fucking tin hat here. I'm just telling you the realities. This is Australia. We are built on criminals and convict fucking. This is the truth. If you come from first settlers like I do, you are of convict stock or police stock. There is no in between. if you are a first settler, obviously first Australians doesn't, you know what I mean? They were here before us. So, but here's the truth. If you were a first settler, you were either a convict or a cop. And here's also the truth. Most of them cops were convicts before they were cops. So, do you know what I mean? We are a civilization here that is built off a criminal history. When people say to me, people ask me all the time, what is the Australian culture? And I say this because it's the truth. And as much as it's not like, you know, I wish that I could say that we had a culture like, I come from Norwegian background. Yeah, I'm Scandinavian. I'm a fucking Viking. And that's my background. I wish that I could say that about my Australian heritage, but don't get it twisted. I am just as proud of my Australian heritage as I am as my fucking Viking heritage. Because, do you know what I mean? Every single person who came to this country had to fucking struggle to get to where they are today. Their families where they are today. And that's the truth. We're a convict settlement. We're a whole nation that was built off convicts. This place used to be called, before it was Australia, Van Diemen's Land, right? And so this was a penal colony. Now, I get it. The immature ones are probably going to have a bit of a laugh at that, but Australia was a prison. The whole country was a prison. It's so fucking far from everywhere else in the world that was discovered and flagged at the time that the whole country was a prison. Ned Kelly was my fifth cousin. Oh, that's a mad. It's still a prison. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is still a prison. Here's a true story as well, but I spoke to Aussie Bushrangers about this. Now, I don't know if you guys know, though, Aussie Bushrangers who joins this chat is actually somebody who is, like, quite literally wrote the book on Ned Kelly. So himself, by himself, has found a lot of evidence that we now know about Ned Kelly. And so my family have lived in northeast Victoria for a long time. And so one of my dad's cousins actually found one of the Kelly brothers' guns, and which was like the best like keepsake family thing that we had. And then in the 80s, in the 1980s, the Australian Museum Society came to the house and came and took that gun back and said that it's heritage listed and it's now ours. So what about that? Like my family found that, and then in the 1980s, like we had that for like tens and tens of years, like decades, you know. And then the museum literally came in and stole it. They were like, that's heritage listed, that is ours. We will say in the museum that you found it, but it's ours. How shit's that? That's a cool story, mate. Thank you, Skulls. But it was, oi, Skulls. It's seemingly pity Desi doesn't have all the support when he needed it back in the day. Yeah, I mean, I think he did. This is the truth. Do you know what I mean? I think Desi did. I think it's quite obvious that Desi had the support that he needed. Let me just run this by you guys, right? Because this is the exact reality of this. The Desi Freeman police search was the largest police search in Victoria, guess when? Since Ned Kelly, right? Ironic, isn't it? So, was the largest police search in Australia since Ned Kelly Gold Rush days. And that man, I can't do anything but admire it. And I don't even care what people say, yeah? I came from where I grew up on the wrong side of the tracks, yeah, than most people. And so when I can see someone has beaten the Australian Defence Force, the SOG, the whole Australian Police Force, some of the some of the New Zealand police force, hence why we've got Mike Bush, the dickhead, and then even the Australian Federal Police, ASIO. This guy literally had every single place that searches for people in Australia looking for him, and he managed to get away for 7 months. I can't even tell you, if you are on the run in Australia now in 2026, last time I was on the run was 2020, and I can't even tell you how hard it was back then. It is, you can't use your bank card, you can't use your phone. They call them smartphones for a reason, because we're dumb. That's why. And so much has changed, and I've got to do nothing but respect that man defied fucking basically gravity to be able to get to where he is today. And might I say, I've got to choose my words very carefully here. I'm in contact with people from Desi's family, right? That's all I'll say. And I need to put a conspiracy to rest, yeah? And I said that I was going to do this, so I'm not going against family wishes or anything like that. A lot of people seem to think that Desi Freeman has not been cited by his family yet, yeah? So obviously a lot of you guys would understand when someone dies, if it's a dicey situation, there has to be a coronial inquest, which is exactly what happened. Should have been a fucking royal commission, but anyway, a coronial inquest. And anyway, might I also add that I said to you, legends, I said, if they appoint a new coroner to Desi's case, 100% red flag number one, if that happens, right? I said that way prior. Guess what? They have appointed a new coroner to Desi's case. Brand new coroner, actually. One that was just a county court judge. What do you know? County court judge that was sitting on the fucking bar when Desi Freeman and his constituents were taking the Victorian government to court. Right. Now, there was no way in hell I could have known weeks prior that if when Desi dies, there is a new coroner appointed, that it is red flag number one. There's no way I could have possibly known that. We didn't even know Desi was dead. And what have they done? Brand new coroner. Same coroner's been doing every single major high-profile murder case in Victoria since far back, way further than I can count. Now, all of a sudden, the coroner is an ex-county court judge. No shit. That is no shit. I hate to be sound like I'm wearing a tin hat, but this is the reality. This isn't conspiracy. This is fucking fact. You guys can search it up right now. You guys can search it up yourself. Find out that, what do you know? That on the exact same day that Desi Freeman had his life lost, that Victoria appointed a new coroner. Well, what do you know? And I called that 2 weeks before Desi Freeman was dead. I said, if Desi Freeman is dead. Now, there's people in the chat that heard me say this. It was on a live. I said it. I was here with JJ. And I said, listen, you know that if this happens, there are red flags going up everywhere, you know? Oh, Muhammad, you don't agree? What can I say to that in Arabic? Eat a dictionary. It's Froffy Fridays, mate. You don't want to be coming at me like that. I am faster than a fucking steel fucking trap. I've got fast twitch fibers. What about this army guy, war crimes, what a load of shit. Well, I'll tell you something, right? I know that you are in the chat, yeah? So yesterday, only yesterday, I had some awesome fucking legend from the chat who believes in me, and I've got a lot more people that are believing in me lately than, people just think that I'm out here trying to get views when, like, I really don't care. I've been doing social media for a long time, and, like, all I care about is I fucking hate corruption, yeah? Corruption is why I spent fucking nearly 14 years in prison. Ironically, same judge that was the corrupt judge in Desi's case, we all know was the same judge in my case. But anyway, only yesterday I was given BRS's MIN number, so Ben Robert Smith's MIN number. So I was given all his contact details from someone close to him. And they said, we appreciate what you're doing. It's people like you that get the message out there for people that the message doesn't usually need to get across to. And it's people like you, And so this person supplied me with so much information, and I had already written down the letter, everything. I had put in to be added to Ben Robert Smith's visitors list, and he got released. So, yeah. But, yeah, it was just crazy. I was like, yeah, thank you, legend. Like, I really, really appreciate that because, like, look, at the end of the day, I care about corruption, but at the end of the day, you've got to understand, right? So many people are coming forward and saying, but Biff, like, the fucking 2014 fucking A Current Affair episode showed footage of what happened. Now, look, I understand that, but this is how I see it as well. I gave my opinion, which is probably a little bit wrong. I've never been to war. Well, that's questionable. I've never been and fought for the Australian Defence Force. I've been to war. Don't worry about that. But here's the truth, right? When you're locked up, the whole world forgets about you. They do. And so Ben Robert Smith needs people like me that, like, this is the truth. Oi, thank you. Daniela Bush, thank you. Or Danielle, yeah, Daniela, or is it Danielle Orson or Daniela Wilson? Anyway, thank you. But here's the truth. You got sent over there to do a job, right? And regardless of what people say, Ben Robert Smith still had superiors. This is how the world works. Like, the bureaucratic world is fucked. And this is how the world works, yeah? When you live in that world, you answer to your superiors. That's how that world works, yeah? I know this because my family are actual fucking soldiers. My name is Leif. My first name is Leif. I always say this. My grandmother's name is Eriksson. My Norwegian side. I am not the only Leif in my family, yeah? But the Leif in particular I am named after is a digger that died. And so I've got soldiers in my family that have died for this country. And, like, here's the truth. Do you know what I mean? Like, every single person who is, like, charged today, tomorrow, the next day, the day after, should be, and, like, according to the rule of law, been given the presumption of innocence since day one, yeah? How can someone be given the presumption of innocence when every single mainstream media outlet is saying he killed X amount of people doing war crime? He did this. He did that. He did this. It's called trial by media, yeah? They know exactly what they're doing. I know because I got 9 years for saving a girl's life that was getting stabbed by her fucking boyfriend. I'll tell you what trial by media looks like. It looks exactly like fucking this. That's what it looks like. So how the fucking hell, and it makes me so angry, How the hell is anyone like Ben Roberts-Smith, a war hero, might I add, the most highly decorated war hero in our country's history? How is he ever supposed to be given a fair trial when every piece of shit mainstream media is out there saying he's guilty, right? They make sure that they do everything so it's called trial by media, yeah? And it's exactly what it sounds like. And if the media says you're guilty and all the dumb shits that watch mainstream media watch it and fucking believe it. And so, what do you know? Well, what do you think? Ben Roberts-Smith's fucking jury hasn't been picked yet on his multiple fucking war crime murder charges, right? His jury has not been picked yet. And you can guarantee you that they make sure that they pump out 4,000 fucking stories wrong about Ben Roberts-Smith, that he's guilty already, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, every single person who is charged in Australia is and should be given the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. And yeah, trial by media is a real thing. You better believe it. They're going after anyone that can lead the revolution. So here's the truth as well, yeah? There's an old saying, I don't know if you guys know it, I'm sure you guys would. It says, if all else fails and politics fails, revolution is the only answer. And that is the most fucking stupid saying, which basically means, if you don't agree with the fucking laws that your country are passing, start a militia and go to war with your country. That will never end up well. Oi, Buttles, Jacko! These topics are related. They after people who they can lead revolutions. Buttles. All right, guys, give me a moment. I'm just going to go to the Brasco. And I'm left here wondering if I'll ever love you. It makes me cry. See? I tell ya, it's a raindrop. It makes me cry.
Yeah. You didn't see me when I wasn't sober. Scratch marks on the wall, but it wasn't over. You never seen the gas bottle garden fork, holes in the walls, hearing voices making choices. I was seeing ghosts. You deserve better than these empty promises, but I can't let you go. I'd rather overdose on this. Please don't walk away when I'm too high to see your face. Every pill I take just puts another crack in our place. Out of my own lane, can't steer this shit straight. You love right here, but the demons won't wait. Addiction's stronger than I love some days. It rips me apart, yeah, it makes me cry in the dark. I'd rather numb it all and watch you break, but I still see your face when the light starts to fade. Out of my own lane, trying to crawl back home, but the bottle calls louder than you on the phone. I'm still the one you once cherished, but addiction's stronger sometimes, and it makes me cry my whole life. It makes me cry.
Get your hand off your penis, the police is here. So how do I get a copy of Biff's tunes? You jump over to my Chaos Clips account. There is Chaos music on there. I've dropped 2 songs on there. The song you just listened to and this one just dropped on there tonight. Mate, find another hobby. Oh yeah, sweet as. Can I have your mum's number?
Wrong side of the tracks, wrong friends, wrong cows. Learn real quick how to build brick walls. Siren sang lullabies, steel door slam. Mama prayed hard, but the streets.
Boy, Gracie Buddles, glad you loved it, legend. I say it. You know what? There's a very high possibility that there was a YouTube creator that mentioned my name and another YouTube creator's name. Bro, don't come in here starting your fucking jealousy bullshit. I couldn't give a shit. I don't buy into that. Do you know what? I'll tell you what, ready? Hit for a fucking 6, never to be spoken about again. Preacher, prime example. Oh, there he is right there. Aussie Bushrangers. I was chatting about you before, bro. Only good things, obviously. Oi, Jacko, you bloody legend. Started with COVID, cleaned out police, the army, now this shit's... It's all interconnected. Lots of COVID protests. Hey, Jacko, remember the other week how you said something about a specific special operations group? Yeah, so Mr. Smith you're talking about, right? I know this for a fact. You didn't tell me last names. You just told me first names and who they were the head of in their state. This is how much I know. And yeah, never doubt me for 1 second. So the person you're talking about, also very high in the martial arts world, was the very high of the crime command in Queensland Police. I'm all over it, mate. Don't worry. But yeah, don't worry. So there was already talk in the past. So this person, I'll just say, reached out to me through somebody else and wanted to come on my channel. Yeah, and remember when you asked me that name, and I said this, I said, oh, I know that name. I know that name, bro. Yeah, I did. Oi, on your gunny buddoos. Oi, I'll tell you what, right? Do you know Gunny's nickname is Gunny for a multitude of reasons, but I promise you, he is the quickest arms in the West. He is the quickest fire in the West. You come in here dropping bombs, and he's just going to hit you with his 6-shooter and drop you, and you'll never be able to do that again. How are we the ones figuring this out? Bro, like I'm telling you, not much goes fucking... You know what I mean? There's a lot going on in here. What about that? That's how you know. You know that the person you're talking about is the same person I'm talking about. Which quite possibly could mean... Boosh, thank you, Jacko, you legend. Oi, Tim Wilson, you bloody legend. Biff, where do I get Chaos hoodie like the one you got on? It looks mad. Alright, so Gunhead actually just dropped a link in there. I'm sure he will do it again if I ask him nicely, please, Gunny. Oi, Cyborg, you bloody legend. Biff, what do you think of the Craig McLaughlin case? Craig McLaughlin case. Alright, hang on. Let me just fucking... Oi, let me just say this, yeah? Oi, Cyborg, let me just say this. In my last live, I said this, and this is all I'm going to say on it, yeah? I said to you guys that I have infiltrated one of the most notorious churches in Australia, right? Just wait. You guys seen my no fear way I do things, right? Follow farm, boof. Straight there, without question. Didn't even question it, yeah? Epstein files. Named a still acting police commissioner. My zero careness is fucking next to no one's, I promise you. Now let me just say this about, you've asked me about Craig McLaughlin, blah, 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 you know, and I had to really hold back on what I want to say here, but let me just say this, yeah? I have worked extensively to get myself on the inner circle of this church. Now, you could imagine someone with my past, it was quite easy to get through the fucking, the gates of hell, so to speak. And let me just say this. When I actually drop this video, I'm going to be dropping high-profile actors' names, government employees' names, everyone's, because I don't give a fuck. And I don't give a fuck. I'll tell you why I don't give a fuck and why I'm swearing and why I don't give a fuck that I'm swearing. Because these fucking animals hurt our children, yeah? And I have a zero fucking tolerance for that shit. Zero tolerance. So if you are involved in that shit and you come across my fucking path, you better hope that you can fucking swim, drive, fucking fly, whatever fast as you can. Because if I ever get my hands on the fucking information that you are doing so, I promise you, I'm bringing it right here so everyone can see it. You guys can threaten me already with the Desi shit. You guys can threaten me with fucking cops and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Do you know what? What can you do to me that you haven't already done to me, you fucks? Seriously, what can you do to me that you haven't already done to me? Let's be honest. You took me off my family for 9 years because I seen a fucking female getting stabbed by her boyfriend. Here's the truth. That dog will never do that again. He'll never do that again. Never. But I got 9 years for it. Unapologetically who I am. Facts. And I have a zero fucking tolerance for any of that bullshit. Especially these creatures that fucking, you know, have a place where they can, you know, lead the sheep in their wolf costume because they're actors and fucking this and that. Well, your smoke screen doesn't fucking bewilder me, mate. I don't care. I will dead set give you the best fucking 5-piece KFC feed you've ever had, right on the egg of your fucking, right on the end of your fucking, your virulin. No, 100%. Now, don't worry. I don't want people to think that this is what I'm going to be doing, just going out there and chasing these creatures. No, I'm not. But I can promise you, if I can use my platform to out these motherfuckers, then you can guarantee it that that's exactly what I am going to do. And I don't care. I have no fear for the elites. Do you know what I mean? I've survived multiple fucking attempts on my life. I've been stabbed 7 times. I've been shot twice. What can you do to me that you haven't already done to me? Like, seriously. I invite it, as a matter of fact. Because, yeah, the explosion that comes out of this small package will be one like you've never seen. Craig McLaughlin. But you know what? That's why all of you legends are still here. You have battled with me through thick and thin to be here today. Chaos Crew, here we are talking about this. And that's why you're all here, because I am unapologetically myself. And I change for no one. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, in comes a fucking 5-star general. Normally, people would be like, oh, we can't be talking about this. Quite the contrary when you're talking about Biff, actually. I hear 5-star general and I just want to go, you know what, motherfucker? I am about to ruin your life. Seriously. If you think you can fucking secretly fucking go behind the veil and fucking hurt our children, guess what? Fucking checkmate, motherfuckers, because I don't care. You don't scare me. I don't care. And yeah, these people need to be outed. This stuff needs to be public knowledge. 100%, you know what I mean? But also, just don't think that I'm going to be going out there doing this content all the time, because that's not the truth. But I call a spade, and I can't sit by idly and watch this shit happen knowing about it and do nothing. If you do that, you are also a part of the problem, I believe. Donald Trump, right? Let's just say this, yeah? So, Virginia Joffrey came forward multiple years before Jeffrey Epstein. I have to say this, actually. Before Jeffrey Epstein was ever convicted or sent away for her stuff. But he was convicted of these crimes that she was crying for years. He was just giving a sweetheart deal. But anyway, my point that I'm getting at is, like, people like Mrs. Joffrey, right, who called herself an Australian. I love nothing more than that. When a Seppo, you know what I mean? A Seppo comes over here and says, I want to leave fucking septic tank land. Septic tank, Seppo, septic tank, it's fucking... Anyway. And they say they want to become an Australian, especially after the horrors she went through. And you know what? It fucks me off that the whole world, basically as a whole, said, shut up, Virginia. we're not listening to your story. You're speaking about someone who we care about dearly, and because you are a little pawn on this chessboard, and that is the king. Well, let's be honest, that's the queen. Um, you know what I mean? You're a rook, and that's a queen. So guess what? We're just gonna go boof, fucking Bobby fucking chess move, get you off in 3 moves, and that's it. Doesn't sit very well with me, and I can't sit idly by and not do or say anything about it. Do you know what, Jacko? I need to say this, right? So after when I exposed there's always methods behind my mayhem, guys. Just know this, right? So I am well aware that the person who I said was a former South Australian Police Chief Commissioner was still serving South Australian Police Chief Commissioner. But believe me, there's always a method behind my mayhem. And so a lot of people have said to me, because of the way I put that video across, how do you think that she did not, like, how do you think that they didn't take her life? And I was like, whoa, hold the phones, pull the reins, because, like, I've never said that. And as a matter of fact, I didn't speak on anything about that in that because I wanted to see what the comment reaction was like to that. And so, like, you guys have got to understand, like, I lived on the other side. Do you know what I mean? Like, I am the person who I am. When I was in my criminal element, I was that person because of these child sex offenders. Yeah, that's a fact. They made me who I was, and I hate it. I'm a victim myself, yeah? You don't often hear me talk about it, but it's a fucking fact. And that's why I fucking hate it, and I can't stand it. And what gets me, do you know what gets me worse than anything is this. In Australia is the only fucking country in the world. We have third world countries where victims have more rights than Australia. Sad, to say the least. Get this right, and I know I'm going to have the naysayers saying, so it should be this way. No, it fucking shouldn't. Why is it that in an Australian court system that a sexual attack victim has to prove that what they are saying is true rather than the charged having to prove whether that what they did is true or false? We are the only country in the world where we make victims feel like they are criminals. Like, this is a fact. I'll give you a prime example on exactly what I'm talking about, right? So if one of you's got SA'd tonight, yeah? If one of you's got SA'd at your workplace and your CEO, say for instance you worked for Pepsi, let's just say, right? One of the biggest conglomerates fucking in the world. Let's just say you worked for Pepsi and the Pepsi CEO came into your work today and SA'd you, right? This is how your court case, and I say your court case because this is exactly what it is. We have no compassion for victims in Australia when it comes to SA. As a matter of fact, it's quite the contrary. You can be found guilty of multiple child SA offences and not get a prison sentence. But you can get a prison sentence if you talk about that child SA offender. What the fuck world are we living in, people? Let's be real. Do you know what I mean? What world are we living in when a victim of an SA, let's say, all right, let's use a specific example, but I'm not pinpointing anyone. Let's use a very specific example, yeah? Let's say you are an 18-year-old intern at your new business, right? If you know what I'm talking about, I'm as cheeky as they fucking come. Let's just say you are an 18-year-old intern at your business. Now, this business that you work for has government employees, right? But you are only an intern. So your voice means fucking nil on the best of days, especially if you are coming forward and saying that a multitude of SAs is happening in this government entity, right? Here's the truth, right? You will end up in prison if you talk about the offences that which guess what, are your fucking offences. And if you want to fucking talk about them, how dare any motherfucker sitting up there in their ivory towers can point their fucking manky fingers at you saying, you can't say this because we are protecting child SA offender A, B, and C, right? What the fuck has our fucking world come to in Australia when this is the reality of this situation? When a victim will end up in prison for speaking up about her perpetrator, and the perpetrator can go on fucking YouTube and say, I'm innocent. I'm innocent and I would never do this because I'm a government employee who works at Government House in Canberra and I would never do this. What the fuck is this world that we are living in? Seriously. Anyway, fast forward, backtrack, whatever you want to fucking call it, yeah? Fast forward, backtrack, whatever you want to call it. That's why I'm here. I am a voice for these people that do not have a voice. And you know something? I have always been a voice for these people, but I'll tell you the truth. The way that I usually relayed my message was with these. I swear to God. My whole life, I would hear about a victim and I would go and make the perpetrator a victim theirself of my fucking crimes. With these, my bare fucking hands. And I would literally... And I can't even tell you the sensation of joy that it gives me that I am able to have a platform where I can point my fucking manky fingers myself at these fucking government officials and say, fuck you. You're not going to fucking do any of this shit to any of us. We're not going to stand for it. Biff's not going to stand for it. Ever. Yeah. Rest in peace, Virginia. I promise you, your name will not go down as the name it was 10 years ago. As a matter of fact, your name is already fucking lighting up towns. Do you know what I mean? What a soul that was to openly say the things she said. And as a matter of fact, this is why I went on to that, because I was talking about Donald Trump and I said, anybody who has done this to our children is going to get it. And guess what? Donald Trump, I don't even care. People are saying, oh, fucking hell, bro, be careful. Fuck that, be careful. Fuck you, Donald Trump. Because I'll tell you why, right? Now that Virginia is dead, all the fucking naysayers have come forward and said, you know, obviously we know that what she's saying is fact now because Epstein went to fucking prison. Is he dead? Is he alive? I don't know. It's arguable. But anyway, everything that Virginia has said in her fucking memoir has been proven as true and correct. And if that is a fact, now this is coming from government officials themselves, a part of the OJJ, the Justice Files in America, right? Here's the truth. Donald Trump, you fucking skunk. Virginia was very, very openly about your conduct, Donald. And this is me, Biff, Leif Hughes, Victoria, Australia, calling you out. I don't give a fucking shit. Truth. Virginia, everything Virginia has said in her memoir has been proven as fact. Now, let's just get that on the table before I say what I'm about to say. Now, fuck you, Donald Trump, because guess what? In Virginia's memoirs, it said this. Now, although Donald Trump was not a perpetrator, he was present at the majority of these mass SA events, right? Present, there, knowledge, there, right? That's all I need to say about that. Now, here's what I move on to say about my next part, Donald. And guess what, Donald? Your wife's name's in the fucking Epstein files as well. Not just yours, you piece of shit. But here's the truth, Donald. If you are complicit and knowledgeable of child SA offences happening in your fucking presence and you did nothing about it, guess what, Donald? You are just as bad as Jeffrey Epstein. You are, if not worse, because you were knowledgeable, you knew this was happening to young women, young men, children, and you stood by and you let it happen. And so, truth is, I don't give a fucking shit. If you are there and you are complicit and knowledgeable on anything that harms our children, guess what, you piece of shit? You are in the same category as a fucking pedophile yourself. Now, let's not forget the number of questionable under the carpet swept incidents that Mr. Trump has been involved in himself. He is the only American president who has been impeached. Do you know what I mean? Like, if money is a credibility, well, you can see why Jeffrey Epstein made it to where he made it. And you can see exactly why Donald Trump will always get away with this bullshit. Now, I am not a Donald... This is the thing, right? Until I fucking read the memoirs of Virginia Guffey, however you say it, depends which side of the fence you're from, I was actually a bit of a Donald Trump supporter. I was very much of the mindset, this guy fucking 25 years ago on Oprah Winfrey show said, I'm going to be the president of America one day. And he did. Not once, but twice. And like, for me, I've got to respect that kind of shit. But let me tell you this, truth. Respect went out the fucking dickhead window when I found out and read Virginia's memoirs. And I can tell you, Donald Trump was very present and complicit to the majority of incidents that involved Virginia. Not only Donald, but other very major, high-profile identities like Andrew Windsor, aka Prince fucking pedophile Andrews. Guess what? You didn't even get to abdicate, you piece of shit. You're that much of a PDF that you got kicked off the throne before you could abdicate. I hate that fucking shit. This fucking, don't I mean? Republican fucking rah, rah, rah. But you know what? Guess what? I'm very knowledgeable when it comes to things I talk about, or I wouldn't talk about them. And guess what, Andrew Windsor? Something Batten. And broke me in pieces. Oh, pizza party. What a fucking joke. Did you know there's a new secret word that we've just come up with as well? I'm not going to say it because it might definitely get me cancelled. But there's a new word that they have found in the files. Here's the truth as well. I said to you guys, right? You guys know. 12 months ago, maybe 10 months ago, I started filming a podcast series with one of our major mainstream media outlets, all right? And I learnt very quick the hard way. But anyway, it's not that way anymore, and I would never do that. But I've had people reaching out to me asking for the content that I have, right, in regards to Desi Freeman. Because when I say to you that what you have seen, what I have dropped, is very much paper thickness, surface level, yeah? I'm talking Listerine strip surface level thickness of what I have on film. If anyone would ever believe that I literally own 3 different cameras that I can hold in my hand, and I did own one that used to be able to fly, and look, did anyone notice it? Look, it's exactly right there. That's where it lives forever now. Do you know what? That drone just paid for itself 1,000 times over. But oosh. Oi, Gracie G, you bloody legend. I was chosen to be Miss Uruguay and declined in 1987. I was so close to meet Trump and them sick, as he owned Miss. Yeah, oi, you actually probably made the best decision of your life there. I don't know if you guys know, but the Miss America pageant and the Miss World fucking blah, blah, blah. Who do you think owns that? Who do you think owns every single right to that? The media rights, the ownership, everything. Donald Trump. All right, do you want to go a little bit deeper? Charlie Kirk, yeah? I don't want to get any political at all, yeah? But Charlie Kirk, we all know, very questionable death. Charlie Kirk's wife, right? Charlie Kirk's wife knew Donald Trump 20 years before she became Charlie Kirk's partner, right? She was a Miss America pageant winner. Who do you think owns everything with the Miss America pageant? Donald Trump. The media rights, the pageant itself, everything. Donald Trump. Miss World, same. Donald Trump. Why is this fucking piece of shit so invested in our young girls? Why? You can't even say in 2026 that it's all for money. No, you can't. It is what it is. Do you know what I mean? Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just going to go grab my loaded fries. Oh yeah, I can't even tell you how this song couldn't have turned out any better. Actually made me cry. So every song that you guys hear, I need you guys to understand that I literally write these words myself. I actually have a notepad that is full of my fucking songs, which is about this thick, right? Because I have songs stuck to it. I have little bits of tissue fucking paper stuck to it. I have anything that I came up with a song idea in my mind and put it all in this book, yeah? But I promise you, every single word that you have heard has been drilled out of my brain to make it what it is. And I think that's important to know when you're listening to this song in particular. We're back in a minute.
You didn't see me when I wasn't sober. Scratch marks on the wall, but it wasn't over. You never seen the gas bottle, garden fork, holes in the walls, hearing voices making choices. I was seeing ghosts in the walls, sirens running, addiction crying, steals, constantly trying. I don't even know who I am anymore. More drinks, bad pills, false friends. Why the fuck do I even care for? I'm still the one you once cherished. photos have perished. I wake up past 6 and I'm off with the pills, cause they take away my pain. But I'm chugging down with the hard stuff, kinda out of my own lane. 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 Can't steer this shit straight. Your love right here, but the demons won't wait. Addiction stronger than I love some days. It rips me apart, yeah, it makes me cry in the dark. I'd rather numb it all than watch you break. But I still see your face when the high starts to fade. Out of my own lane, trying to crawl back home. But the bottle calls louder than you on the phone. Baby, you still look at me like I'm that man, the one you fell for before the blackout began. I swear I'm fighting, swear I'm trying to hold on tight. But when the voices whisper, I fold every night. I see the tears you hide when I relapse again. You say I love you, but I'm drowning in the pain. Why can't I pick you over this numb escape? It kills me knowing I'm the reason that you hate. Fucked up, tore down, still down for another round. You try to pull me close, but I'm already underground. I miss the old me, the one who didn't need the high. Now I'm just a ghost in the walls you walk by. I hate myself for what I'm doing to us. The high feels like home when the world's too much. You deserve better than these empty promises, but I can't let you go. I'd rather overdose on this. Please don't walk away when I'm too high to see your face. Every pill I take just puts another crack in our play. My own lane, can't steer this shit straight. Your love right here, but the demons won't wait. Addiction stronger than I love some days. It rips me apart, yeah, it makes me cry in the dark. I'd rather numb it all than watch you break. But I still see your face when the high starts to fade. Out of my own lane, trying to crawl back home. But the bottle calls louder than you on the phone. Still the one you once cherished, but addiction's stronger sometimes, and it makes me cry. Out of my own lane. Out of my own lane. And it makes me cry. It makes me cry. Ooh, it makes me cry. Yeah. You didn't see me when I wasn't sober. Scratch marks on the wall, but it wasn't over. You never seen the gas bottle, garden fork, holes in the walls. Hearing voices making choices. I was seeing ghosts in the walls. Sirens running, addiction crying, stealers, dealers constantly trying. I don't even know who I am anymore. More drinks, bad pills, false friends. Why the fuck do I even care for? I'm still the one you once cherished. Memories are all we have, cause all the photos have perished. I wake up past 6 and I'm off with the pills, cause they take away my pain. But I'm chugging down with the hard stuff. rips me apart, yeah, it makes me cry in the dark. I'd rather numb it all than watch you break, but I still see your face when the light starts to fade. Out of my own lane, trying to crawl back home, but the bottle calls louder than you on the phone. Baby, you still look at me like I'm that man, the one you fell for before the blackout began. I swear I'm fighting, swear I'm trying to hold on tight, but when the voices whisper, I fold every night. I see the tears cry, but now relax again. You say I love you, but I'm drowning in the pain. Why can't I pick you over this numb escape? It kills me knowing I'm the reason that you wake. Fucked up, torn down, still down for another round. You try to pull me close, but I'm already underground. I miss the old me, the one who didn't need the high. Now I'm just a ghost in the walls you
I only started hearing your tunes when your ex-missus took your baby and world for you.
You deserve better than these empty promises, but I can't let you go. I'd rather overdose on this. Please don't walk away. When I'm too
Nah,
tired to see your face.
it's not like it's my voice, but it's not me singing. Like, yeah, nah, it's not me singing. Like, it is everything mine, but I made it with AI, and yeah, that was the outcome.
Every pill I take just puts another crack in our place. Out of my own lane, can't see this shit straight. You love right here, but the demons won't wait. Addiction's stronger than I love some days. It rips me apart, yeah, it makes me cry in the dark. I'd rather numb it all than watch you break, but
I'll tell you what. Before this live is out tonight, I will give you a live, no microphone, straight vocals, my version, and I'll let you guys tell me what you think. Yeah.
you see your face when the light starts to fade. Out of my own lane, trying to crawl back home.
There's no microphone here. I'm live on a phone, yeah? So this all it'll be like music and my voice like live with no microphone, nothing. So I mean, I guess you could probably say I'll probably rate myself if I'm willing to do that. I only wrote this song last night, right? I was listening to an Honest Abe song. Like I told this story early on, so sorry for those that have already had to hear it. I was listening to an Honest Abe song earlier. So literally at about 3 o'clock this morning, right? And I realised that I needed to write a song about a certain part of my life. And I don't know, I always write songs, yeah? So like I love poetry, I write songs, you know what I mean? But I need you guys to understand hasn't always been this easy for me. I'm still semi-illiterate on paper. I can read a lot better than I used to be able to and write a lot better than I used to be able to. But obviously technology that we have today makes it a lot easier for me to write a song, especially with like, you know, whatever it's called where you use your voice to fucking text people and stuff like that. But yeah, last night I was listening to a particular song, and as a matter of fact, I hadn't heard this Honest Abe song before, and it nearly teared me up because the story was almost identical to my life story. Like what he was singing about, I could definitely, do you know, like I know people do this, yeah? But you guys, everyone would have their own epitaph to their life, you know? And it was like that song that I was listening to last night was an epitaph to my life. Now, I can't even tell you, when I'm in wind down time, that's it. I've been doing heaps of editing so I could get yesterday's and today's videos out to you legends and blah, blah, blah. And I was literally just kicking back here in my chair, and I was listening to Honest Dave, and I was like, fuck, bro, that is really uncanny how much that song represents my life. It was like an epitaph for my life, you know, and I was like, fuck, you know, where's the pen? And yeah, so I went and got the pen straight away because I had like lines in my head already that I wanted for this song, which was the entering lines of this song. I don't know what you call them, but yeah. And yeah, I had to get them down on paper straight away, and then yeah, and then I moved them from the paper to notes on my phone, which is a lot easier for me to do then because I could just voice type. And yeah, this song came out, and yeah, I mean, I couldn't be any more happier with it, you know. But I need I need you guys to understand. So like, I showed this song to friends and family today, and they all thought the same thing. They all thought, "Oh fuck, is he relapsing?" Rah rah rah. I am not relapsing. I am talking about the time. The very first words of this song are these: "You didn't see me when I wasn't sober," and then I go in to talk about my previous life. That's very much exactly what the very opening words are. You didn't. I'll show you. You ready? Just want to show you the entering words. That's me.
You didn't see me when I wasn't sober. Scratch marks on the wall, but it wasn't over. You never seen the gas bottle, garden fork, holes in the walls, hearing voices making choices. I was seeing ghosts in the walls.
I'm literally talking about, right? So that particular time, right? So this is something I'm not proud of, but I literally thought that people were there trying to kill me. I was still with a bike club at the time. I was messed up. And so I had one of my children living with me at the time. And so unfortunately, something that I'm not proud of, my child actually had to walk in and see me standing on a fucking kitchen chair with the barbecue gas bottle, pouring the gas into the roof, going, "The fuck are you doing, Dad?" And like that literally snapped me out of it. But like, this is how fucking like it was like. I need you guys to understand. Like, I had like multiple attempts on my life, and fucking I was, like I said earlier, something that I'm not proud of. But at this time, I'd been up for 21 days because that in those previous 21 days, I had 2 attempts on my life. And I was like, you know what, like, fuck yous, I'm going to be ready for yous next time. And I'm still here because I would somewhat say that I was ready for them times. But, you know, that's the truth. And I'll tell you something. My child said something to me that day that made me realise that my party was a problem for everybody else. And so, you know, this is going to be very hard hitting for you guys, but I promise you, this smacked me back to reality. And so my son literally said to me that day, he said, "After today, if I find out one more time that you have touched that shit, you will never see me again." And I can't even tell you how much of a reality check that was. That was like getting fucking hit with the best 2 left rights you've ever had off anyone. It nearly knocked me off my feet. It was that much of a reality check. Now, also, I need to say this, not that I am fucking excusing my behavior by a long shot, but I need you guys to understand that I'd just done a 9-year sentence, and these drugs that were now a major problem were not a major problem when I got locked up. It was like literally recreational drug use only when people, yeah, there were the odd people here and there that were taking those drugs and becoming messed up. But like when I got locked up, that wasn't the case. Like it was literally a recreational drug. People took it on the weekends. They worked hard on the weekends and went out and partied. They raved or went to nightclubs. And do you know what I mean? It was just the same as, people take fucking MD or fucking Bickies, you know what I mean? Ecstasy or fucking Coke or whatever. People do that and they do it like, so it's only on weekends and stuff. And drugs were all very much like that prior to 2010. But bring on 2010, things changed. And when I got out, it was like everyone around me was partying. And I felt like for 9 years, I had to take drugs every day on my prison sentence. I've never lied about it. I took Suboxone every day for 9 years on my prison sentence. And I feel like every day I had to hide that. And then I had to also drink fucking 65 litres of water every single day. So if I ever got pulled for a urine, the only thing that they were getting out of me was water. And so it felt like I just had this opening where I was not going to get in trouble. I was not going to fucking go to the slot. I was not going to lose my visits. I was not going to get my phone calls taken off me. I felt free and I felt like I had nothing holding me back. Now, I've never ever tried to sit here and tell you guys that I wasn't an addict, this and that. I've been quite transparent about what I was like when I was an addict. But I've also been quite honest and transparent about I never got into the ice prior to this, right? So I got locked up in 2010, never tried heroin, had never tried most pills, had never tried most drugs until that prison sentence. Now, it is alleged that I may have dealt in pharmaceutical products to get me by. But even saying that, I was from the era where it was speed. It was speed before it was ice, yeah? And it was very accepted in those times. And regardless of what people think, I really don't even care. But believe it or not, the uppers were never my thing. It was downers. But for some reason, when I got out, I seen how prevalent ice was and how every single person around me was having a party. I just got off parole. I just had all of these fucking sanctions and yeah, do you know what I mean? That's exactly what it is. At least I'm not, sitting here posting videos saying, I've just been boxing for 6 months. That's how I lost all my weight. Not having a side dig at anyone, but just saying. Also, as a matter of fact, do you want to know something? So, in order to get my license back, I had to take a drug test. So, in order to take a drug test, obviously, you can't be fucking failing drug tests. You know what that is? Boof, 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 boof. Let me tell you. I'll show you, right? So if it's a positive, you have nothing but C's all the way across the top, yeah? If it's a negative, you have all 3 rows or just 2. It's only a positive if it is just 1. Now, just so you guys know, I'm going to show you how you read these drug tests. And I'll prove to you, and I would challenge any other Melbourne YouTuber to do the same. Not targeting any two in particular. But I would challenge any other Melbourne YouTuber to do the same and see if they can get the same result there. And as a matter of fact, if you want to see the video of me taking that, because I knew that when I came on here and said that someone said, oh yeah, but you could have got your mate to piss on it. Yeah. But I had to get this proved to the fucking court. So of course I had to have evidence. But anyway, I'll show you how to read these. So, anyway, positive results is just a red reading with nothing in the 1 and 2. Negative results is all 3, but some of them not so much. Also negative. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, positive, just a C at the top. Bam, bam, bam. Negative for all drugs, motherfuckers. Not only that, I would be stupid. I literally walk a very, very fine line when I drive. When you are someone, so just so you guys know, I lost my fucking, you guys know, but for those that are in the chat now that don't know, I'm a medicinal marijuana patient, yeah? If you don't believe me, I'll show you. All right, this doesn't have any of my personal details on it that I don't want you to know. But anyway, as you can see, my name there, Leif Hughes. There you go. Delta 9 tetrahydrocannabinol. And as you can see, this is 27% THC. Not that fucking 7% shit you get from your fucking dealer in the street. 27% THC, 1% CBD, 100% prescribed, 100% medicinal marijuana patient. But know this, that I had to stop. I had to stop everything. Medicinal marijuana, I've got a medicinal marijuana vape. Give me a second. Now I know there's people in the chat going, oh no, you can't talk about this fucking dicks. I can, I know I can, and I will. Alright, so I also have this, which is a straight 100% live resin THC. Now I know that you're going to go, that's just a fucking I get vape like this thing. Well, this is actually Alibaba. Well, I mean, it's very incognito for a reason. Looks like a fucking I get, I know, but guess what? I get up your bum. There you go. There's a fucking pure fucking THC live resin fucking, and then, yeah, all you do is this. You go, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you go 1, 2, and it will start heating up. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 1, 2. It will start heating up, see? Your I get doesn't do that shit. Start heating up because the stuff in there needs to be heated up before you can consume it. The medicine I'm talking about. And then next thing you know, and there we have it. Anyway, everyone thinks that medicinal marijuana is a myth. It's not. I am Australia's #1 medicinal marijuana advocate. Here's the truth. we just heard me talk about for half an hour my addictions. My addictions are a big part. You heard me talk about the 21 days I spent up after spending 9 years in prison. But I didn't talk about the fucking 2.5 years that I spent after getting out of prison addicted to opiate pain drugs that were prescribed to me by a doctor. This medicinal marijuana got me off everything. I was addicted to oxy. Trust me, they sent me down a path I didn't want to go down. And yeah, I am medicinal marijuana's #1 Australian advocate, because I'll tell you something. I've got, most of you know in the chat, but for those of you that don't know, I've got multiple sclerosis. I've got progressive, remitting, relapsing multiple sclerosis, which means from today, well, here's the truth, right? I'll tell you the conversation that I had with my neurologist when I was in prison when I got diagnosed. This was a conversation. I'd just been getting tested for 9 months straight. They said that I had 8 or 9 spots of grey matter on my brain. As you guys know, my mother has been battling cancer quite literally for over 30 years. My mum's stage 4 right now, so obviously I stressed out and thought that I had brain tumours. And so anyway, I went from prison to St. Vincent's Hospital on the same day, because at the same time I was literally said to the doctor, I'm like, listen, I just put a notepad next to the toilet and put a fucking strike there every time I went to the toilet. I just pissed 27 times in 24 hours. The doctor's like, no, you didn't. I'm like, I fucking did, and I promise you I did. So we didn't know that all of this stuff was all connected in. And anyway, I had MS, but we didn't know that I had MS at the time. Anyway, this is how it went. So I get told that I have 8 or 9 spots of grey matter on my brain. I swear to God, walk into the doctors at MRC, Metropolitan Remand Centre, Dr. McLaren, you fucking dog. What a maggot you are for doing this to me. Anyway, he goes, sit down, Leif. My first name's Leif, yeah? So, like, at private prisons, the screws will call you your fucking nickname and think they can get away with it. But at fucking government prisons, they would never, ever call you by your nickname. Do you know what I mean? If I was at government prison and a screw called me Biff instead of Leif, I would have to tee off on that screw right there, because you just couldn't let them get away with that, thinking that they were your friend, blah, blah, blah. But at Port Phillip, it's quite different. They expect you to call them by their first name, and they also think that they can call you by your nickname. Yeah. So yeah. Fuck. MS, Screw's calling me by my first name. I'm nearly there. Help me out, guys. I'm so close to being there. What was I just talking about? Boof, my doctor. Thank you, legend. All right. So anyway, this is literally, so I thought that I had brain cancer. Thank you, legends. Thank you. Sorry. This is part. So all of my, anyway, I'm not even going to, anyway. So all of my MS is all around my cerebellum, which is right where your memory is. So anyway, moving on. My doctor. So I thought I had brain cancer. The doctor said to me on this day, right, I went to St. Vincent's and had an MRI scan done, and I had an ultrasound done on my bladder. Now, I'm going there because I'm pissing 27 times a day. You could have never have told me that there was anything wrong up here. I thought that I was having problems down there. Now, one of the things that made me get these tests were I was playing football. At MRC, you can play football against the other yards. I was playing football, got the ball. Like, it happened like 3 times. And, like, I'm a good football player. I've actually played back-to-back premierships. True story. Played in the fucking 3rd premierships the year after, but we lost. But it doesn't matter. I played 3 premierships in a row in thirds fucking football. I'm a good football player, right? And so anyway, I got the football and I went to kick a goal every time. Every time I'd mark it, I'd go to bang a goal from like only 20 out and like fall over, yeah? And it was actually like embarrassing. And so anyway, I was like, oi, fuck this. I'm going and sitting on the bench like something's going on here. Like, do you know what? I actually thought that someone was poisoning me and I thought that I was about to get stabbed. And once you're on the oval, you can't get off until the fucking game's over. So I went and sat on the bench because I thought I was being set up. I'm not even joking. I thought that someone had set me up and I was being poisoned because like at the same time I couldn't use my left arm either, right? And like anyway, so like at the start my right leg was the problem, but now my left leg is the problem. It's always been my left arm. But anyway, so the doctor, right? So I told you I thought I had cancer. I was told that I had 9 spots. The doctor said, sit down, Leif. And I said, no, I'm not sitting down, Dr. McLaren. I said, you know, I don't sit down. And he's like, why don't you sit down? And I'm like, because what if someone comes in here now to fucking get me? Like, I'll be sitting down and I'm going to be fucking vulnerable. That is why I don't sit down at the doctor's every time you call me in here. Because I'm a fucking gang member. I'm this, I'm that. Like, you got to understand, that's the reality of fucking prison. You can be sitting down having a conversation with your doctor, and next thing you know, you've got a shank hanging out of your fucking eyeball. Truth. And so anyway, Dr. McLaren's like, sit down. I'm like, no, I'm not fucking sitting down, Dr. McLaren. You know I'm not going to sit down. He goes, I think you're going to want to sit down for this. And I was like, what do you mean? Anyway. Sit down. I sit down, right? Because I was like, I think I'm about to get some fucking decent news here. I sit down and he goes, righto. So as you know, you just went and had an MRI scan done and you went and had an ultrasound of your bladder. I said, yep. And literally, I was literally waiting for him to say, because I knew that if you had some kind of like, which is a very common cancer in males, if you had prostate cancer, it makes you either pee a lot or pee not much. And so that was my main concern because obviously my mum's got stage 2 lung cancer. Well, she's got stage 4 secondary lung cancer, actually, say it right. But this is the second time my mum has had lung cancer. At the time, my mum was suffering the first lung cancer she had. She had half of her lung removed then when I was in prison. So I stress anytime something's wrong because my poor mum has literally been battling cancer. My mum, this is the 7th time my mum's had cancer and she's never been free of it. She's had breast cancer twice, double mastectomy, but like at separate times. 1 breast, 2 breasts, like my poor mum, yeah? So I'm stressing. So anyway, he's like, you know how you've had your MRI scan done and you had your bladder scanned? And I'm like, this cunt's sorry ladies, this fucker's about to tell me that I've got cancer. And then goes, well, your ultrasound come back clear. I was like, what? He goes, your ultrasound come back clear. And then the reality of what the scenario was. I was like, all right, I've just had an MRI scan done specifically. So if you guys don't know what your central nervous system is, it is this and this only. Your eyes, your fucking brain, and your fucking spine, yeah? That is your central nervous system. And I don't even care. I don't want anyone to argue this with me because I am fucking corrupted by MS on every bit of my central nervous system. So please don't try and argue me that there is more to your central nervous system because there fucking is not. Anyway, he says, we've just found 8 or 9 spots of grey matter on your brain. I'm sitting down, yeah? And at this time, I was at MRC. I was waiting to get sentenced for saving that girl's life that was getting stabbed by her boyfriend. Got 9 years. Now, I got 9 years for it, mind you. And so he says you've got 8 or 9 spots of grey matter on your brain. And I'm like, what does that even mean? I swear to God, this was the worst doctor's appointment I've ever had in my life. And how I didn't attack him on that day, you guys would be very pleased in me. So I said, 8 or 9 spots of grey matter where? He says, in your brain. He said, particularly around your cerebellum. I said, bro, I am fucking semi-illiterate. I do you know what I mean? I am not very fucking smart. Like, speak fucking, I don't care, monkey tonk if you have to. Speak fucking layman's terms to me, bro, because that means nothing to me. He goes, all right. He goes, you have 8 or 9 spots on your brain, around the back of your brain there, where basically where all your cognitive skills are, yeah? Around your cerebellum, your memory, all this shit, right? I knew nothing about this then. Cerebellum, fucking schmerabellum. What does that word mean? I didn't care. I did after this day. And I said, what does that mean? I swear to God, this was the next words that came out of that fucking dumb fuck doctor's mouth. He said, I'm not a neurologist, Leif. I said, excuse me? He said, oh yeah, I'm not a neurologist, so I can't tell you that. I said, so, excuse me, Dr. Fuckface, did you just call me down here to tell me that I had 7, 8 or 9 spots of grey matter on my brain and you can't even tell me what the fuck it is? He goes, no. He goes, here's the results here. And I'm like, I just fucking told you I was semi-illiterate. I learned how to read and write in prison. And I need you guys to understand that, like, especially with big words like demyelination, which is what happens with MS, right? And so anyway, I took it. I lost my fucking shit. I was like, you fucking dog. You just called me down here and you told me that I've got cancer, but I haven't got cancer. He's like, I'm not telling you you've got cancer. I'm like, you are telling me I've got cancer, you fuck. I said, why else would I have fucking 8 or 9 spots of grey matter on my fucking brain? Anyway, I actually got asked to leave out of there because I was going off so much. I get back to my unit, and so one of my mates, oi, Bobby, you fucking legend, boosh, was actually fucking president of the Vikings Motorcycle Club at the time. Absolute legend. One of my best friends was in the army, right? He was in Vietnam as a medic, yeah? So, but also one of the most smartest people I've ever met in my life. And as a matter of fact, when it comes to respect, I don't think I've ever respected anyone. Like, I can literally count them on one hand how many people I respected to the same level I respected this man, yeah? And so anyway, I've got this fucking, like, bits of 3 paper, which is like, it's my report that I have to give to my neurologist, yeah? Means nothing to me. It may as well have been in fucking Chinese. It meant nothing to me. And so anyway, I go and grab Bobby, yeah? And at the time, I was working in the laundry and Bobby was working as rubbish. So we were both in C Yard at MRC. Now, for me to be in C Yard, I need you guys to understand that's the working unit, yeah? So it was just next level, me being in that yard in particular. But anyway, Bobby was in the cottages and I was in the unit because I need to be supervised apparently. And I went and grabbed Bobby and I said, "Oi, come for a walk, bro." I said, "I think I got something wrong with me." He goes, "Brother," he goes, "we all know you got something wrong with you, you fucking crazy little fuck." I'm like, no. I mean, like, seriously, I've got something wrong with me. And he goes, "What do you mean?" And I go, "Oi, listen, you know how my mum just fucking been diagnosed with cancer again, and this legend had been there with me while my poor mum in that same 9-year prison sentence had been diagnosed with 2 different cancers, right?" And so I was like, "Oi, because you know how my mum just got like fucking her first lung cancer, but she'd already had fucking throat cancer, breast cancer twice, fucking, um, like she had like 4 cancers before lung cancer. Anyway, I was like, you know how my mum just got lung cancer, blah blah blah. He's like, yeah. I said, look at this. I go, this. I've got to give this to my neurologist. And like I said, he was a medic in Vietnam, but also legitimately one of the smartest men that I've met in my life. And knew shit on levels that I couldn't even comprehend, to be honest. And as a matter of fact, he really wanted me to become a part of his club, and I was already like involved with another club and blah blah blah. But anyway, so he said, righto, let's go for a walk. I give it to him. It's 3 bits of paper, like I said, right? And he's reading it. He gets through the first bit. He looks at me like this, and I'm like, don't fucking do that, Bobby. Please don't. And he goes, what? And I said, you just looked at me in that way. I go, you know exactly what I mean. Don't do that. I go, just fucking read it. And when you finish, fucking look at me like that. I don't care. And then anyway, he gets through the next page, does the next, same thing again. I'm like, bro, please don't. I'm stressing out already. And now keep in mind, I said like, and also what I didn't tell you guys is that one of the symptoms that I had, so I used to train, right? In my video, in my intros and outros, you can see the photos of me in prison, buff, you know. But anyway, I used to train a lot. And so anyway, on a few particular days, like, prisons only have cable weights, yeah? So on these particular days, like I remember, I used to be able to arm curl 120. I was arm curling 100. It fucking worked. It fucking worked. Did it work? I think we're good. Yeah, we're good. We're good. So anyway, yeah, he kept looking at me weird, and I was like, fucking bro, stop doing that. Just fucking read the shit, get to the end of it, and tell me. Once again, I can't even tell you how much respect I had for this man. I'll leave that for another story. But anyway, so he said, listen, come back to my cottage and I'll sit down and tell you what I believe's going on. And I was like, all right. And then I said, listen, before you even open your mouth, please, all I want to know is, do I have cancer? He goes, nah, bro. He goes, you don't have cancer. He goes, see here. And he pointed out where it said demyelination, right? So what actually MS does is it basically, so say for instance, see this electric cord, yeah? If this was my central nervous system, demyelination happens, and then what it is it actually eats away the myelin, which is why it's called demyelination, on which is the stuff that protects your central nervous system, yeah? And it eats it away, and then basically, so if this was a power cord and I cut all the wires away and just let them short out, it would short out. That's basically what it does to my body, yeah? That is the simplest way, in layman's terms, I can explain to you what MS does to the human body. So my wires are shorting out because my brain is telling my body that there is something wrong, and my brain is making my body eat the myelin, which is around my central nervous system. Which, anyway, fucking hell, we just went into a Dr. Oz fucking episode. Hi, welcome to Dr. Oz, Biff. Bloody hell. Obviously wrote this too. This is the one that was in the drone video, and everyone was like, "Bro, what's that song?" Oh yeah, this is what I didn't show you as well. So, this is what you get in the vape. Look, Delta Hydra Cannabinol Delta 9. Oh yeah, my post office hates it when I get it sent there. Kicked in. Wait, if you guys can hear me on the chat, can you guys give me some thumbs up? Because this chat's not moving.